Ladies and gentlemen, let's move into our second men's semi-final here at the 2017 BDO World Trophy. We bring back to the stage a former Australian Grandmasters and Pacific Masters champion, last year's BDO World Trophy finalist, Australia's Machin, Peter Machin.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is something they call a groundbreaker. So let me first apologize to the shirts and the ties for your makeup. Cause I make you ugly as soon as it drops. We're on a rampage. Bubbles popping up before you know it. There's rubber enough, cause we'll be crashing it up. Somebody say
we now introduce the reigning Italian Grandmasters champion, twice a Lakeside World Championship semi-finalist, the former World Cup singles champion. From the Netherlands, it's Sparky Wesley Harms.
this ain't a song for the broken hearted. A silent prayer for faith departed. I ain't gonna be just a face in the crowd. You're gonna hear my voice when I shout it out loud.
So knowing who they're going to meet in the final, the winner of this game will meet, of course, the ageless, wonderful left-hander Martin Phillips. But here we have a Dutchman and an Australian doing battle. And I've got to say, this fella, Peter Machin, went all the way to the final 12 months ago at the Lakeside, this event where this event was held, and impressed me then. And if anything, he's impressed me even more. I think he's matured even since then, because his route to the final has been via victories over Geert de Vos, the 2015 champion, Scott Mitchell, former world champion, and as we've witnessed earlier today, Martin Adams. That's not a bad little CV, is it?
Wow. That's a tough
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg is Wesley to throw first.
It's Wesley Harms who has the darts. He had them in his previous game, but
We're not supposed to mention that game.
not supposed to mention that game. I'm afraid I can't avoid it because he's reached this stage via victories over Yuya Higuchi in the opening round, where he averaged nearly 101. James Huddle in the second round, and earlier today, coming from 4-0 down and really up against 41. It to win 7-4 against the man to my right, who's won the great sports as well in this game, and who eventually admits after 10 or 15 minutes
45.
takes the defeat gracefully. But looking at this game, two different styles in a way, I suppose, and
I can only echo what you said, John. And Peter, you know, in the backstage, he's been an absolute
83.
gentleman. And he's representing Australian darts very, very well. And clearly the World Darts Trophy suits his style. He had a fantastic time at Lakeside last year in the World Darts Trophy, reaching the final. And when you name them three players, especially Scott Mitchell, who, you know, he's so tough to beat Scott on a stage. And for Peter to come through that and then to beat the legend Martin Adams, he deserves all the accolades.
134. 60.
That first leg is so important, and you know, certainly for someone like myself, I always like to be a front runner, and I know Wesley feels the same. Peter's quite a steady player, though he seems to be a little bit quicker than he was at the Lakeside when I first sort of watched him at the World Darts Trophy. I did watch him at the World Cup, when he represented Australia, I knew he was a very, very good player. But you know, the stage seems to suit his style.
100.
Wesley is. I think Wesley's due a really big tournament win now, and I'm sure he'd be very, very disappointed if he doesn't come through this match.
I think if there's a danger in Wesley's terms, and I'm not speaking about him personally, I think in general in sport we often say that was his final.
140.
And it
Wesley
may
Unicorn,
well turn out to have
96.
been so, but we'll see a lot of darts to be thrown in this match yet. And
Well, he never missed the double against me, so...
Yeah, that's came short in the first leg. Wesley Hall. Second leg is Peter the Throw
what
first.
the first leg was all about
Game on.
there, and I always looked at the flow, I was looking at the stage, and you just praying to hear a number, and each time, you know, they were like game shot to Wesley Harms, and that's a great start for me. Feel really, really good right now, John.
yes, clean, clinical 96
93.
finish, wasn't it? Didn't exactly boss the leg, but he certainly made sure that he won it.
140.
That's right. That's more like the
He'd be
lad.
feeling good right this moment, and now he'd be, you know, really looking to kick in. But when I spoke with Peter, especially last year, he said, you know, he doesn't get affected when he goes behind. A bit like Brian Dawson, who I played in the first round. You know,
57.
they're the type of players that never give up, and you know, Peter will just be getting on with his job. Wesley be feeling really, really good, right? He's opened up with a 140. And he follows that
100.
with a big ton. He'd be feeling happy now and looking to take a 2-0 lead.
Yes, in your first round match against Brian Dawson, went to 5 apiece, the deciding leg. You won it on the ball, 90 on the ball.
93.
He was waiting on 83, and
Yeah.
I rather fancy he might have taken that out
Yeah,
if he hadn't
me
hit the
too.
ball.
And the story behind that one, John, is I didn't realise he was on 83. And if I knew he was on 83, I'd probably gone,
180.
Well, Wes Arms gets the first 180 of the match. In his case, the 7th of the tournament, his 5th of the day.
121. Wesley Unicorn, 81.
yes, he did this against me with the treble 19. He'd be looking at possibly treble 10 or a big 12 and double 13.
55.
Just moved
BT
the
Unicorn,
wire a
137.
fraction. And if people at home are wondering, why did he go for double 13? That's unusual. It's because single 12 would have left the ball. Method in his madness.
59.
He'd be
Wesley
thinking now not
Unicorn,
to split it.
26.
It's always a tough one. It's a nice double, but if you split it, that doesn't surprise me. But now you've got to execute it. And he
Yeah,
has.
that's game short in the second leg.
Yeah.
Wesley Hall.
Sacrificing a dart, getting the break.
Third leg is
sacrificing
Wesley
a
the
dart
Throw first.
to be able
Game
to go
on.
for a much more favoured double.
He just seems to be the guy that seems to be hitting the doubles. I'm sure I'd like to see what his the results of his finishes has been all tournament, because I know he averaged over 100 the first match. He
140.
just looks really good. When I saw him on Friday, John, he had a bandage on his arm, and
Yes.
I noticed when he's shaking hands, he's doing it with the left.
Left hand, yeah.
I don't know if he's, what he's done there, but it seemed to be affecting the way he's thrown, during the matches.
86.
He came and assisted me in the commentary box the first couple of days. Certainly the first day anyway, played the second day, but even after he played, he came in. And he always wore that
140.
dark blue bandage type strapping. And I said, "Are you be able to play despite that?" He said, "Yes, take it off and I'll be okay." But he said, "I have to go carefully."
59.
Next time I'll shake his hand.
Yes. It's a pity you didn't know that beforehand.
Yeah.
But I remarked
41.
in the game, how calm he seemed.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. On the stage, I was looking to see any weaknesses, and there was just nothing coming from him. But Wesley needs a big tournament in him. 5-6 seasons he's been on the circuit, and
57.
he's always been one of the best players, always in the top 8 seeds. He's won I remember he beat me in the England Open final, and
Well, he's won that 3 times,
Yeah,
but
has he?
that shows what he can do,
Yeah.
doesn't
140.
he? Leave himself tops there. Harms, he's well ahead. He is.
yeah, he looks good. He looks good.
thing I like about Peter Machin, he's never phased.
No.
He just gets on quietly with the job, doesn't he?
114.
Chipping
Wesley, you
away.
require 40.
Yeah, and that's hence the reason I mentioned sort of Brian Dawson. You never feel like you're going to win the game when you're playing someone like him.
Yeah, that's Kim Short on the third leg.
Well,
Leslie
it's
Hall.
looking good here, Harms.
Fourth
He's-
leg is Peter the True first.
In a way,
Game
he's
on.
picked up from where he left off before. And Peter Machin, although he's 3-0 down, is only one breakdown.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what he has to be.
100.
There are no 3-0 down is good, but there are some that are worse than others.
Yeah.
If you're 3-0 down on your own throw, you're in trouble.
I hope you didn't,
140.
I hope you didn't mention the relegation of Middlesbrough when I was playing, John.
Not today.
I will be
I've
watching
had
it,
a
you
few
know.
messages from when I mentioned it yesterday.
did
They
you
were
really?
nice messages, though,
good.
but it was only in context of a bad leg you played and you
96.
scowled. And I said, could be worse, you know. Middlesbrough have been relegated. Well, there it is.
We'll be back.
I'm sure you will.
100.
It's probably the most composed I've seen Wes, and sometimes you can find weaknesses in this game. You know, when you're 4-0 up, like I was
I thought
there
he
were
was
the
going to get
times.
rattled, but he
yeah,
didn't.
he didn't at all, did he? I remember a 1-3-8 finish, and that really, really helped.
137.
Six leg it was. It's what made it 4-2. And I think then I sensed, because he followed that with the 13 data, I sensed that
60.
there was the possibility of a revival. I didn't think he'd win, I've got to be honest.
great to
Until
see.
it got to crunch time.
Yeah.
He might, because he was playing so well. But anyway, let's get back to
Yes,
this one.
that's a
Old
good
Peter
dart.
Machin. We mustn't ignore an
128.
come all this way. We're ignoring him. He's set himself up nicely there on 40.
Like I said, he's doing Australia dart really, you know.
140. Peter, you
Really
require
do this
40.
double top just to get him going now, John.
Tens. Fives.
35.
Oh,
What I
now a
would
chance
say.
for halves.
Wesley, you
Which
require
way does he go on?
61.
61. I think he's a
Well, I think
25
he'll go
double
25
18
as well,
on
but-
himself.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yes.
He hasn't missed this much. Just off the barrel.
Yeah, that's came short on the fourth
Exactly
leg.
where he was
Leslie Hall.
intending it. Now, the boot's on
Fifth
the other
flag
foot
is
now.
Wesley to throw
4-0
first.
to Wes Harms.
Game
Are
on.
we going to see Peter Machin give us a revival? Because
I don't think so. And one of the reasons it's Wes's darts now as well. You know, when I was 4-0 up, I was against the darts, but he just looks so solid. Look at them. Look at them
100.
averages there. 107 for his first 9 darts and averaging over 100 once again. He's playing exceptional. I'm very, very impressed.
32-year-old Wesley Harms. So he's got
100.
lots of, not so much learning to do, but he's got considerable experience behind him, but lots of time ahead of him.
I agree. That's a good statement. And like I said, for the past 6
100.
years, he's due a big tournament, and this looks to be his week.
But
140.
I've said in the previous game, Peter Machin's temperament is absolutely
Fantastic, isn't it?
perfect for
Yeah.
darts. It really is.
He's using the John Lowe darts.
100.
He said he's used them for about 15 years, and he just he's not going to give up. I just think Wesley's just looking really, really very, really strong at the moment.
100.
It's a good leg from both players, but Wesley be looking now. 201. That's a great first start. May go for the 25, but such a good marker there.
140. Peter, you require
Well, he likes the
161.
61.
Well,
He
he's not
did it
missing
last
double
leg,
18.
no problem, didn't he? Oh, unlucky
Yeah.
Peter. You wanted that for the bull.
Yeah.
Unlucky lad.
Look for treble 20 against that first one's a great marker for him.
97. Wesley, you require
Got a feeling
61.
25 double 18, John.
I think so. Deja
There it is.
vu.
Well,
And that's gone in
off the
exactly
barrel.
the same place, exactly the same. Oh, why didn't that? I thought we were going to get a
requires
deja vu
64.
then.
Commentator's curse.
Another one of those and then double it. Yes, now then, to get into the match. Well done,
that's Kim
Peter
Shaw on the
Machin.
5th flag.
Against the
Peter
darts
Machin.
as well.
6th
That's
flag is
just
Peter the
as
Trow
important
first.
to
Game on.
remind ourselves, get this leg now on throw, and it's beginning to look then a little bit like that quarter-final match. Role reversal.
I was just thinking that.
81.
They've been in the venue a few hours now, and I felt quite tight first game of the day for me. But yeah, he's shown his first
41.
signs of weakness there.
Yes. The last one he rather flung, didn't he? It was
did,
just
didn't
a bit.
And Peter's one of them players. He's, like I said earlier, he definitely looks quicker than he was last year, but he's just very,
59.
very solid. Wesley needs to get back to the fundamentals, and big 140 here will really settle him again.
100.
I've always said, you know, if you're not in control of yourself, you'll not be in control of your darts. And both these lads are epitomes of self-control.
That's cracking darts.
136.
And
Well, Pete definitely needs a treble with these three darts, because Wesley's set there nicely.
it's much easier to step up there
38.
and play like Martin Phillips does.
Yeah.
Just let the darts go. But not everybody can do that,
No,
can
I certainly can. I'm
You
quite a
know.
very deliberate,
Yes.
methodical player, and a bit similar to Peter Machin.
60.
Yes, and to a certain extent, like Dennis Priestley, whom we mentioned before. And you've got to do what's best for you, and it produces the best goods.
Yeah.
I think you've done fairly well out of it, haven't you? Mr. World Champion.
137. Wesley, you require 164.
So 164 to finish that the players do like. That's nice. I think you'll stay there, John.
83.
No, he won't. He'll go
BT
in treble one.
require 86.
Peter Machin will be looking at treble 18. He'll probably have a quick look at Wesley's score and realise he needs another fat 18. He needs the bullseye. These are the games that turned it around.
44.
So,
require
West
81.
Ham's 81 for a 5-1 lead. This against the throw. Now, Bull for him. Same
34.
place, wasn't it?
BT
Million
require
Wells
In
42.
the 3 and the small
Peter
3.
will be looking at a big 10. He's been really solid in this double 16. It's a good marker.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Kim Shaw
he
on the
used it
6th
well,
line.
didn't he, in
Peter
terms of
Machin.
just moving inside.
7
it.
laggers, Wesley
And,
the throw first.
That's
Game on.
I'm just watching the body language of Wesley, and I'm sure that replicates exactly the body language I had when you're 4-0 to 4-2, but he'd be happy with that second dart.
140.
happy with
Pleased
the
with that.
third as well, won't he? Yes, it'll make it interesting. And Peter Machin, it's no surprise that he's come back to 4-2.
100.
He can sneak up on you, I should imagine,
certainly
with this
can.
quiet manner of his. Nothing spectacular, nothing out of the ordinary. apart from now and
140.
again. But that persistence in
And
terms of
when it's your darts,
consistency.
when it's your darts, John, you're going 140, 140. You're putting yourself in a fantastic position. So Peter needs a 118. Clearly, he's not doing
59.
that. So where's
I
he got
asked the
total
question
control now?
yesterday of someone, I think it was Scott Mitchell, would you prefer a 140 throwing first or a 180 throwing second?
26.
Never got a firm answer from him. Gave him something to think about.
I'm doing exactly the same.
Yeah.
Do you know, that was a really disappointing throw from Wesley there, and Peter's
140.
capitalised. That brings him back to a leg that, for me, he had no chance of winning. So Wesley needs at least 95 here. So I think he'll go downstairs now.
100.
Not surprising there to leave 95. So Peter will be thinking that maybe 6 darts will be enough here. It's a great opening dart. Oh, I'd be looking at bullseye now, John.
More than looking at
170.
it, he's
Wesley
hit it.
Unicorn,
Brilliant.
95.
So I was disappointed with Wesley's dart, but that's where the Dutch go. 45. That leaves double 16.
79.
Well, that 170, and it's not the
Peter
first he's hit.
Unicorn,
He's had a
32.
170 finish, of course, in his previous game, but it's set up this 32 very nicely.
Yeah, that's game
202
short
in
of the
4
seven.
darts is not bad going.
Peter Machin.
And that now means 4-3, another break of throw.
8 like it's Peter to throw first.
Well, I said the
Keep on.
boot's on the other foot.
Just look at the body language of Wes. That's not the guy who, you know, who went 4-0 ahead. That's not the guy who won 7 legs on a row.
You could say he won 11 legs in a row because, of course, the last 7 of his previous game and the first 4
81.
of this one.
And that'll hurt. Just that last dart there. You'll be looking there thinking he scored 21. You usually look to the floor and then you hear them words 81. You're thinking,
140.
But it doesn't take anything away from Peter Machin's 170
solid.
and then 32 in 1.
I just felt that paid his flight home. That £1,000 it is for the highest finish.
Yes, it was the 9th leg of his match against Martin
125.
Adams. He completed a 12-darter with a 170 finish. And in fairness, it was the leg after an 11-darter where he did success. Oh, he did 2 180s.
140.
So he was in a rich vein at that time. Played well throughout, but particularly at that stage in the game. The 8th and 9th legs and there around.
I've got to say that Widmow dual core board is really, really nice to play
40.
on. Really enjoyed, you know, the 3 games I played on there. But as I say, that will get a bounce out.
Yeah,
That's
that,
what you
that
say,
the commentator's curse there, no doubt about it.
100.
He'll never trounce out with a
Super
bounce out.
darts. Yeah, I
That's
like
my
that.
saying.
I like that. I'm writing that in my notes. In a leg that he looked in control of. Oh, yeah. The problem with going down to 19s there, if he leaves 96, that only leaves a 159.
Yeah, and his indecisiveness
Yes.
or his uncertainty has resulted in
28.
that.
Yeah.
Wesley
Say no
Unicorn,
more.
121.
Well called. So I think he should really go treble 20, but I know the Dutch just love the 25 first dart. So many times he's gone 25 double 18, so I'll be surprised if he doesn't do exactly the same. Double 18.
85.
Well, he had a look at Peter's score, I think, just to reassure himself. And that last disappointing visit has left him at a big disadvantage, even though he threw first.
85. Wesley
So
Unicorn,
instead of it going
36.
4-4 like it did in his previous match, where he did the
that's
fight
King
back,
Short on
he's
the
got a
8 line.
5-3 lead,
Wesley Hall.
and that will have settled him down.
9th leg is Wesley to throw
First
first.
leg in 4,
Game on.
and against the throw could be the leg that ultimately determines the result.
Such a big dart, that. Such a big dart.
45.
Fully expected a big ton 40 there.
Me too.
But like I said, Peter will just focus on what he does. We'll be looking to break here, and what a start to this leg.
180.
Well, it's ninth of the tournament, at his first in this match, and he only hit one. Would you believe?
85.
Oh, sorry, no, I'm wrong. He hit 2 against Martin Adams. Those 2
He
that
did.
I
I think he
mentioned.
went for the 9 dart.
He was on a
didn't he?
9-dart finish, wasn't he?
Could he be do the same again?
So he's at 11 during the tournament.
He'd be happy with that. He'd be happy with the position. Super darts, Wesley.
140.
I think it's really for the first time for a long time I've played in front of a crowd which is so silent.
Yes,
And you can hear anything.
and one has to say for an event of this prestige,
137.
the amount of prestige it does, it is disappointing.
Yeah.
The public have not responded, have they, in terms of the ticket sales?
41. Peter,
But
you
I suppose
require
they didn't
84.
have too long to sell them. It was fairly
think the
late
players
in the
have done
day
their
that
part.
this was arranged.
Double 12, I think, John.
So across to double 6.
78.
Fancied him for that,
Yeah, I
but
did too.
he will be back.
I did too. Yeah.
140.
I tell you what, that
Peter, you
double 3
require 6.
has got shorter and smaller by the second there. Now this is a hard dart. Now he'll go really good. He'll either hit a big 3.
3.
Aye, you read it
Wesley, you
well.
require 50.
Yeah, and now
So now Wesley's thinking, this is my tournament, this.
a
Come
leg
on,
that he
double
should have,
16.
a leg he should have lost.
34.
Might still.
They're the
Peter, you
darts.
require
They're
3.
the darts. That's the difference between winning competitions. Can he just go right above that? I think now use that as marker. He's
Yeah,
back
that's
in
came
the
short
game
on
now.
the 9th line. Peter Machin.
Well, the last 3 legs have gone against
Tenth
the
leg
throw.
is
In fact,
Peter to
even
throw
the
first.
6 of the 9
Game
legs
on.
played have.
Yeah.
But Peter Major would be quite happy that one did. Now, if he holds his throw 5 apiece, and I honestly believe when it went 5-3 that Wes Harms would go on from there to win it. I can't be anything like as
180.
confident now, especially as Peter Machin hits his second 180 in as many
45.
legs.
He might be 5-4 down, Peter Machin, but I think he's the guy who's most happy at the moment.
Yes, I agree.
He just looks solid.
4 perfect darts. Oh, would have been 5. I'm sure that would have been in.
80.
Unlucky.
Ever since I mentioned how good that wind module scoreboard is,
Yes.
bounce out. That's super darts on Wesley.
180.
Quality.
Just
Two
when you
apiece
think he was
now
out
in
with
this
the leg.
game.
I mean, part of people be thinking it's 5 each already. He was well ahead there, but this is different. It's just very, very solid. He's very, very impressive. Those John Lowe darts,
140.
more bulbous than sort of like the usual straight dart that Wesley's throwing there.
100. Peter, you require
101 then for Peter Machin to level up at 5
Probably
all.
119,
He was
I think.
4-0 down.
Big 12.
Now he has a genuine chance to go level in this game. That'll
that's
do
been
it.
short of the
That'll
10
do it.
line.
Remarkable,
Peter Machin.
remarkable.
11 leg is
4-0
Wesley to
down.
first. Game on.
And now, from 5-3 down as well, he's made it 5 apiece. But Wes Harms, unperturbed. What a fantastic
177.
way to respond, Glenn.
Isn't it? Look at them averages. I think you were talking about the crowd and the competition, but I think if you look at the averages, the players have done themselves real justice this week, and just shy of 100 average there.
100.
But Peter's going nowhere.
Could end up with a 100 average, a couple of decent legs, and it'll go over 3 figures.
100.
Super stuff.
I remember the days when 100 averages, we used to say, Sid Waddell and myself,
I wanted to talk to you about
we used
Sid.
to say Bradman-esque, of course, referring to the great
58.
Australian batsman who almost averaged 100 in Test cricket.
Bradman, yeah.
But now the averages that some players are producing are way, way beyond. And it's amazing, isn't it?
122.
I also think them treble 20s seem to be a lot bigger than they were in the 80s and 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I think it's the wires that I don't think
Yeah.
it's the. I
Yeah.
think it's because the wires are less. They cover less area.
93.
I'm such
Wesley
a fan
Uruguay,
of,
102.
but the game that really got me starting in darts, the '89 final with Jockey Wilson and Eric Bristow. That's really where I got started. Double 16.
86.
Yes, I was there for that game. That was my first visit to the Lakeside,
Really?
actually. Anyway, West Arms coming back here after this, irrespective of what happens for double 8.
We can't stay there.
Fantastic.
135. Wesley Uruguay, 16.
To go ahead
He can't
again.
lose this leg, surely. He can't lose this leg, John.
No score.
He can't lose this leg, John.
Peter Uruguay, 150.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if Machin took this out. I'm not sure which way he goes for
Well, I go
115.
19s. And that
That's
leaves
right,
treble
96
20.
left.
Part of me fancied that.
Yes.
He's got to hit
59.
double ace, surely.
Wesley
I always
Uruguay,
think
16.
19s is better than 20s, but it's surprised how many people do go the 20s.
Yeah, let's
Root as
keep
he
short
gets
to
the
the
double
11
8,
line.
and that
Wesley
now
Hall.
is
12 flaggers, Peter
the
the Trove
lead
first.
again. But
Game on.
it's first to 8, remember. He's still got to find a way of getting 2 more, and that's not going to be a formality.
And I think it's the French Open starts tomorrow at the tennis, so advantage Wesley, I would say at the moment.
Avantage.
Yes.
Avantage
96.
Wesley.
$60.
I'm just trying to think. It never actually happened, but way back when in the 80s, I was asked if I'd go with a trip to France with Eric Bristow as his compere for a few exhibitions.
96.
3 or 4 exhibitions. So I practiced my 180, which is 180, of course.
100.
And it never came about. I'd have probably spoken English anyway.
Well, he's not gone for the song Quatre Vingt because he's gone for the big 171.
171.
Whatever that is
Yes.
in French. Yeah, I'm struggling there a little bit, but Peter's really back in this match again. And, I watched the game
60.
with
BT
Jim
require
Williams and
138.
Dean Reynolds, where Jim just had the game for 97% of the match, and just right at the end, Dean nicked it. I've just got this funny feeling here that Peter is just going to sneak it.
He's going to get the double 12.
Ooh,
Oh, that would have been
140.
magic.
the Keith Della. That's what I call it.
Would have been magic.
$100.
So,
BT require
for
24.
parity yet again. Not yet been ahead in this match. But double 6 will put him level in this match.
Yeah, that's game short on the 12th flag. Peter Machin. 13th flag is Wesley the Trove first. Game on.
Well, I'm going to call that Peter takes control of the match in this leg. There you go.
45.
Oh, that last one, he's done
Yeah.
that 2 or 3 times, but that was more pronounced than any.
Watch his
Letting
body
go of the
language.
last dart and flinging it. It's just a reaction when it comes to the last of his 3 darts.
59.
Oh, it wasn't
What's a
able to-
chance?
Yeah, it was
What
a
a
chance
chance
to
that
steal
was.
a march.
$100.
That one safely in. Safely in. No fling in there.
How solid does he look?
Always does. Could be the first leg of the match, as far as Peter Machin's
81.
concerned. Although there was a hint
disappointed.
of a facial
Yeah,
expression
right there.
that didn't like that last dart.
I think that first one was in there. I just didn't catch.
39.
No, it wasn't. So, Peter, can you give us a 140? I think you can, John.
140.
There you are. Now then, gets interesting in a minute.
He's 100 ahead. Look at the facial expressions of Wesley. Shows
60.
nothing.
And he threw those so much more quickly than normal. I wonder if this Not so much an not so much an onslaught, but just
99.
this determined consistency from Machin. It's just getting to Wes. The head's shaking. Lost
100.
Lost the composure.
Peter, you require
Did get a ton, but he
122.
lost the composure.
We've got to go on at 18s at this point. Well, 68. He's gone big. I'd do that in bullseye. Turning
That
point.
came short in the 13th
What a
flag.
turning point.
Peter Machin.
And what a time to go ahead in
14th
the
leg
match.
is Peter the True
The
first.
13th leg,
Game on.
and with a 1-2-2 finish on the bull. That is quality, absolute quality from Machin. The sort of quality that we were seeing from Harms himself in his previous game at this stage in the match.
48.
And now Harms really has to gather himself together and make a bid in this leg. Because if he can provide, then
60.
automatically he becomes the favourite again.
Wesley's thrown a dart, shaking his head, thrown a dart. He did not do that in the opening round in the early part of this match. But Peter looks exactly the same from the first leg.
60.
Only in the last few minutes that Wesley Harms has begun to show this propensity he has
100.
for showing his emotions. Just,
Peter,
he's in the game. He's
Peter,
very
you've got
much
one
in-
chance here, Peter. Now them trebles are eluding him now.
What did
Lovely.
you say?
131.
Commentators curse in
curse.
reverse.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Watch him shake the head here. That's good dart, Wesley. Super
140.
darts, Wesley.
In fairness to him, he dragged that one out.
I think
Somehow.
18's making. Ooh, that's not a good dart. Peter.
30.
Now that's music to
Wow.
Wes Harms' ears. I don't know how you say 30 in Dutch, but it don't matter. He surely sees this as an opportunity.
I'm surprised here.
45.
I'm surprised.
Could it be that his wrist is troubling him? If it was, I think he'd be looking at it. But I can't understand why, when he's right in the game, for all that he was 4-0 up and had chances, why he's...
85.
That was a
Wesley,
great
you require
start, we know.
156.
This is a chance. Definitely a chance. Still, he should leave it handy.
83.
That hurts.
Peter, you require
That hurts when you throw a
147.
good dart. So, can we get the 15 reds, 15 blacks? No, we can't. Yeah, that's
95.
good dart. Two dart finish,
Wesley, you
52.
require
Lot
73.
of pressure here.
54.
Big 14. Double top. Wow.
53.
Wow.
That would have
Peter, you
taken us
require
all the
52.
way. Now for a famous victory and a second World Trophy final. We want double 8. Fantastic
Shot.
comeback there
And
from
the match,
Peter
Machin.
Machin. And he, the Australian, is in his second consecutive BDO World Trophy final. Wes Harms 4-0 up there, saw it slip away. And congratulations, Peter Machin. He's the man who's going to be playing later on the Welshman, Martin Phillips.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation to the man from the Netherlands. Some great performances this weekend from Sparky, Wesley Harms. Peter, I've run out of questions. Goodness me. So, we saw Wesley playing Glendurant, trailing 4-0 and come back to win. I have to get the boomerang mention in because you came back there in some style.
Yeah, I just thought, just keep holding. The first few legs, I just couldn't get my first dart going, and I thought, get your first dart going, and it'll happen. You know, you'll be playing okay. And you know, credit to Wesley in the first few legs there, he blitzed, And you know, with a broken hand and all, it's just he played superb. But I just kept grinding, I suppose. Just kept grinding, just kept working and working. Just told myself, keep working, and you know, I got the win.
The work has paid off. Now the World Darts Trophy final for a second year in a row. Last year you faced a very experienced player in Daryl Fitton. It's going to be a similar feel to today against Martin Phillips, but certainly a different pace to the match. And it's slightly shorter than last year. So can you see any differences in your game from last year to this going into the final?
Last year I felt very tired going into the final. So far I feel very good. I've played Martin before, and he just doesn't even look like he's trying. So I'll just play my game, just head down and see what happens.
We will see what happens. He's through to his second BDO World Trophy final. Australia's Peter Machin.